What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're doing a second installation on the Pit Bike LED headlight kit. Now I've already got one video out there, but I made a few changes and I just want to showcase exactly what those changes are. So today I'm going to walk through what's new, I'm going to walk through what comes in a kit when you order it, and I'm going to show you exactly how to install it in 30 minutes or less. Check it out. So you may have bought your light directly from me, or you may have gotten it through one of my distributors, but regardless, it's going to look exactly like this when you open things up. So you've got the headlight over here and the wiring harness here. So to walk you through the headlight specifically, it's got black powder coated mounting brackets, all stainless steel hardware, and black anodized aluminum spacers here. It's got 7/8 bar clamps on either side, and then we have a positive negative power lead here with a male weather pet connector that is completely waterproof. Moving over to the wiring harness, we've got the female side to that same waterproof connector. We've got an on-off switch, and then if you go all the way down, this is where it's going to run through your frame all the way through here. You're going to have this connecting to the positive lead on the battery. We've got a waterproof inline fuse terminal here. It's going to come complete with a fuse already installed. And then we've got our ground. Now the ground can go to the negative battery terminal, or it can go to the chassis. I prefer to use the chassis, but depending on your setup, you may need to go somewhere else, and that's fine. All right, so getting started is pretty easy. We gotta pull the seat and we gotta pull the entire left side plastics of the bike. The battery is located right here behind the number plate, and we need access to the positive and negative terminals. Then we can run the harness all the way up the frame right here. It'll come out at the bottom of the bars. We can plug it right in. So to pull the side plastics off, you only need two tools. You need an 8mm socket, whether it's on a ratchet or an impact, doesn't really matter, just be careful. And then you need a flathead. This is going to be to pull the front plastic clip out of the shroud. This is going to be used everywhere else, on the fuel tank, on the number plate, and on both sides of the seat to pull the seat off. Once we've gotten the seat and plastics out of the way, we need to loosen the battery terminals. We're going to use a Phillips head for that, or an open end. I prefer the open end so you don't strip it. You can use either one, just be careful. And we've got a 10mm to loosen the ground cable on the frame. Then, in the very end, we're going to need to have a 5mm and a 3mm Allen wrench to tighten these bolts respectively, and the 8mm open end will come back to tighten these to your bars. First, we're going to pull the seat off. 8mm bolt on either side of the number plates. Be careful not to drop the aluminum spacer off when you remove it. And you can pull the seat back. You're just going to grab it like this, push down on the top. The seat will slide backwards outside of where it locks in on the number plates. And then pull up, and you're going to actually remove these two locking pieces that slide into here. Set your seat aside. Next, we can use our flathead screwdriver to remove the small black front clip at the front of our plastics here. So we're going to take it, put the small piece, the flat wedge underneath it, pry it up just a little bit. You can see it's kind of coming out of there. I hope you can see that. And then we're going to go underneath here in the middle of the pin and push up. And you can see the clip will actually pop up and out. And then you can push up on the entire assembly and pull it out. This is what it looks like. It is a difficult clip, but what you're doing is you're trying to keep this from being expanded. So when you push this down, it opens up and it holds it in place. So you just want to pry upwards as gently as possible so you don't break the clip. And now you can see this can be compressed and it will pull up and out of the plastics. Now that we've got the front shroud clip removed, we can take out the last two bolts. We got an 8mm up here on the tank. We've got one down here inside the number plate. And we've also got a piece of plastic that goes inside that's attached to this. So we're going to want to pull out gently on the center of that. Pull those bolts out, and then we're going to grab right here and just pull out as evenly as we can. And you can remove the plastic and set it aside. All right, so now that we got the plastics out of the way, you can see the battery and you can see our new routing for our LED headlight harness. So here's our positive terminal here, our negative here, and the factory ground junction that Honda uses to ground everything on the bike's chassis, or the majority of it. We're actually going to use this, and we're going to use this red location right here. Our fuse is going to sit on top of the battery, and the harness is going to route up through here, up across this, and to the triple clamp, and then up to the light bar. So first, we want to pull this out, and this is actually just tucked in here like this. Yours may or may not be this dirty, but just pull it out of the way, and it just gains access to the inside here where our fuse is going to route, and then we're going to go ahead and take our negative terminal off the battery. With this tucked out of the way, you're able to see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to loosen this terminal here, and again, you can use an open-end 8mm wrench. Sometimes the Phillips head will strip, and we're just going to take this all the way out. Now, I'd actually designed this kit so you can install all of these fork connectors without doing this, because it's very risky. If you drop the nut that's behind this terminal, sometimes you can't ever get them again. And if you've ever worked on a small motorsport battery, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But thankfully, it bottoms out right there and it's kind of just floating in place. Now we can move over to the power or positive terminal, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're just going to loosen it. We're not going to take it off all the way. Oh, get that bolt out of there. and loosen that just a little bit so that we can get our new connection slid underneath it. Now the reason I took the black one off is it's just good practice in motorsport and a lot of automotive wiring situations. You always want to take the negative terminal off before you make any electrical changes to any other part of the vehicle. Next, we're going to loosen the 10mm bolt right here. And again, I'm just going to loosen it like the battery so that we can slide our connector underneath it. Now, we're going to actually install the harness from the top and come down because we cannot fit a lot of this stuff through here. The kill switch and everything, it's all one piece, and it's not able to fit through some of these tighter spaces. So we're going to start up here, and I'm going to walk you through how to run it down and across the frame to the battery. To get started with the harness routing, we want to take the on-off switch, back out one of the Phillips head screws, and take one of the others out completely. So the one closest to the wiring, you just want to go ahead and back that one out. We're not going to completely remove it, but we're going to get it pretty close to coming out of the plastic, about right there. And then this one, you want to completely remove. Now once that's out, you can see I've got a little bit of room here to kind of pull this back, and that's so we can get it over the handlebars. To route the harness, you want to start with the fuse and the ground terminal, and we're going to actually run them down between the low fuel light and the top of the triple clamp. You kind of snake them through here. You're going to reach around the back side underneath the clamp, grab the fuse, and pull it through. If you feel it start to come down, just grab the end of the terminal. Be careful not to catch the ground terminal on anything as you're fishing it through as well. Should come through pretty easy. And then just gently feed it down, being careful not to catch the switch on anything. Now we're going to have this connector here, and it's just going to hang out for a little while until we're ready to plug the headlight in. And we've got our on-off switch with our hanging bracket. So we're going to pull this down a little bit more. And we want to make sure the weather pack or the headlight connector goes all the way through without pulling the on-off switch through. You can see it's over here on this corner. We're just going to let that chill there for now. And then the on-off switch is almost in position. So the wiring harness is dropping down. It's very clean. There's nothing in the way. It's not obstructing anything. And then we can mount our switch. So the wiring harness is going to pull up like that, and the switch clamp is going to route around the handlebars like so. When you're putting the screw back in, like I said, we're going to leave it loose, but I'm going to rotate it up so I can gain access. Start the screw, don't get too tight. Just enough that it's, it's nice and sturdy, it's not going anywhere. And that's pretty much where it's gonna live. Now we can run the rest of our harness back to the battery. So this part of the frame is arguably the hardest section, but it's really not bad. We're gonna feed the fuse through first, just like we did up here on the clamp. Get the terminal through. Reach up till you feel it with your fingertips. Grab the other side of it and then pull it through and feed at the same time. Ground cable will follow. And I like to do this in sections, so we'll get this part knocked out. You can get a good idea of how it's going to route here. You don't even really notice that the light harness is there. And then we've got to route it through the backside over here and over to our battery. This next spot is pretty much the same thing. Feed the fuse up. You can see the other terminal on the other side. Grab it with your fingers. Pull it through gently. Run the rest of the harness behind it. And now we're really close to our battery where we need everything to land. Now, I like to pull this out completely so I can route this as factory style as, they would do it. So this is going to come up behind that here, pull the slack through, and then we've got our ground wire ready to hook up here. So once you push all this back in, it will obviously look a lot nicer. Now this is going to go here. You just slide the fork terminal right in and tighten down that 10mm, and we can move to the battery. So we've still got our negative cable disconnected from our battery here, so we can go ahead and hook up the headlights. I'm going to pull this back. The inline fuse just kind of lays on top of the battery like this. That way if you ever need to change it, you just pop this open and replace it. So I'm going to pull this out of the way, slide this fork terminal right underneath that positive bolt. Last but certainly not least, we can connect the ground. Pull this up out of the way. Slide your ground back where it was, put your little bolt through here, and tighten it up. Now, your fuse is going to lay on top, like I said, and then this is going to come back and just tuck right back where it was before. It just kind of lays in there, and then the number plate will hold it on in the end. So once you're done hooking up the battery, you can put everything back on, your plastics, your seat, all that stuff. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to move forward. Let's pull both of the 8mm bolts out of your 7/8 clamps and set those aside temporarily. So the headlight's ready to put on, but first we need to check the routing and make sure our harness is going to be accessible. So Here it is, it's just kind of shoved up in there. I want to make sure I'm not in the way of my throttle cables and it's not going to bind on anything else, so that it's easy to connect the headlight once the headlight's in position. So this is difficult to see, but just use your best judgment to route it in a way that it's going to be easy to plug in. It is difficult to plug in sometimes if you don't pull the number plate. You're welcome to. It does make it a lot easier, but you can do it without pulling the plate, which is kind of what I pride myself on. Now that my light is ready to install, I'm going to turn the bars back a little bit, and then I've got this connector waiting here, so I'm going to plug this in first. Now I've got them set up to run on the front brake side. So the harness comes out here and goes straight down. So you want to just let it hang a little bit. You can put a towel here if you're worried about scratching your plastics or anything like that. Take your connector, and it can only go one way. You can see that this thing has a locking tab. This is only going to work one side. It is polarity specific, so you need to make sure that it goes on, but it will not plug in the other way. So if you're having some resistance, please don't continue to force it. It's backwards and you need to flip it. You can pull the slack up too, so it's a little more accessible. Now that it's plugged in, I'm going to feed it down just a little bit. And if you want, you can test your light and make sure it works now. We're going to set our clamps in position. And there we go. It's pretty much installed. Now that we have the light in position, we can add our clamps, add our 8mm bolts, leave them loose, and get the light as even as possible and level. With the bar pad and the Pro Taper line, I really like it to kind of match the line and sit dead straight. It does sit dead center now with these new brackets and spacers, but we want to make sure that it's level left and right. So I will like put it in up here where it fits, you know, because there's extra space, and then I'll pull it down until it's nice and snug. You can probably bend these brackets a little bit. I don't recommend it, but if it's something where, you know, you're frustrated or you want it to sit a little bit lower, you can obviously tweak it to your liking. Okay, so my 7/8 mounts are tight, my plastics are back on, my seat's back on, and I'm ready to tighten up the final hardware. So this 5mm bolt, there's one on either side. Make sure those are tight. Sometimes I loosen them during shipping so I can rotate the clamps. Lastly, we have the 3mm bolts. There's one here, and there's one on this side, and those are used to level the light up and down. So when they're loose like mine are, you can rotate the light like this and change the output of the beam. Move it way out far in front of you, or move it down closer to the bike. When I ride tracks and trails and stuff like that, I do like to have it low, that way it lights up the ground around the front of the bike and the front wheel, and that way you can see. So I hope you guys love your light setup, hope you're pumped on it, and now you can ride it pretty much anytime. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the installation video. As always, I really appreciate you watching, and all of you that have bought lights, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate your support. As for other bikes that this kit might fit, if you got a friend that wants one, or you sold your CRF and bought a different bike, I can guarantee you fitment on any KLX110 that came with a battery, and all generations of CRF110. They've had a battery, they've had electric start since day one, and the light kit will plug and play on any of those bikes. If you've got stock bars, they'll fit with stock bars too. We just gotta pull these little spacers out and run a shorter bolt on the side. So that's an option as well if you've got a bike for your son or your daughter and they're just not ready for a taller handlebar yet. If you have any questions or any other concerns, please feel free to contact me. You can find me on Instagram at _Alex Schuler. That's _ALEXSCHULER, or via email at evolvedcomponents@gmail.com. That's EVOLVEDCOMPONENTS@gmail.com. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace out.